How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Killmark Collectors. I'm Brandon, and today we are going to be talking about how you can avoid breaking the number one rule of Eve, which is, of course, don't fly what you can't afford to lose. Now, as that might imply, Eve is not exactly the most sensitive, caring, I don't know what the right word is. Either way, it's very harsh on beginners, and it's got a very small margin for error. So for that reason, the whole don't fly what you can't afford to lose is basically a way of saying make sure that if you do make a mistake, you can recover from it and you don't just rage quit. Now, today we're going to talk about 4 ways that you can actually avoid breaking that rule while still flying some pretty cool ships. So let's get started with number 1. Now, a couple of weeks back, NetEase implemented the insurance system. And love it or hate it, it's the easiest way to actually get your ship back. Used to be that you could do customer support. They've really kind of done away with that. Now, what you do is before you lose the ship, if you undock, you go into the character screen, go to your combat log, and then you'll see the little insurance icon down at the bottom. When you pull that up, it will very quickly tell you if you have enough insurance points to be able to insure that ship. If you lose the ship to a PvE loss, you get the ship back, I think, almost instantly. If you lose it to PvP, it's going to lock everything for about 12 hours, but again, you will have everything back. All right, number 2 is the old way, and that is to simply just have enough ISK in your wallet to completely reship if something happens. Now, obviously, things are fluctuating, but because of the insurance system, we are also seeing prices drop pretty significantly. That means that if you are going to be going in and trying to do some PvP, you're kind of in luck because you can get the hulls and a lot of the mods for a little bit cheaper right now. But of course, that leads to the question, how do you know if you have enough? Well, if I'm going to PvP, what I do is I typically look at the price of the hull, and then knowing that I'm not going to be putting super expensive rigs on them, at least normally, I'm going to add about 20 million in ISK to fit that ship out. For anything less than a battle cruiser, you're probably going to put about 40 to 50 mil extra on top of the cost of the hull. If you're going to be PvEing, you're probably going to be using some more expensive rigs. So go ahead and just double that, maybe even triple it, depending on if you're flying tier 2 or tier 3 rigs. That will often give you a ballpark of where you want to go. For me, typically this means that if I'm flying a Prophecy, I want to have at least 500 million in ISK because I know that I am going to be throwing some drone range rigs on there that are going to be a little bit pricier. Number 3 is to have a functional backup. What this means is that you may not have the exact ship, but you have something that you can at least go into and play around with to build your account back up enough to go and buy the ship that you need. For me, this is typically a VNI. If I lose a Prophecy, I got to say out of all of these options, this is probably my favorite just because it gives me more of a mental safety net. Whereas I know that if I lose something, I immediately have another backup that I can jump right back into the fight. Versus even with the insurance, if I get pretty much everything back, I'm going to have a wait or I'm going to have to figure something else out. And I know that it's going to cost me Plex. So it is kind of nice to be able to just jump straight back into the fight or jump back into ratting or whatever it is and start making that ISK back. And then number 4 is some of the corporations, especially in NullSec, will have their own kind of shadow currency, if you will. Typically, you can participate in things like a buyback program or, some sort of loot mastering or something that's contributing to the Alliance in some way. And in return, the Alliance will basically give you a bank account or a bank credit. We do this in Pandemic, where you can actually go into the web app that some of our members have built, and you can actually order ships directly with that kind of shadow currency. The nice thing here is that you can actually go ahead and build that up over time. Maybe that's with PI, maybe that's with mining, whatever it is. And then when you get to the point where you do need to get that ship, you can go ahead and order one without being out any extra ISK. This is obviously a really great thing and something that a lot of more mature corporations and alliances will offer. And like I said, we do it in Pandemic, so if you are interested in joining, be sure to hit the Discord link below, #shamelessplug, and you'll be able to have this and a lot of other great features. With that being said, those are just 4 of the ways that I kind of think about replacing my ships and I can really fly without worrying about losing something too much. Even for something as blingy as my Daredevil, if I know that I have a little bit of a safety net, I'm more likely to fly it as opposed to it just collecting dust in a hangar somewhere. Either way, thanks so much for joining this week. I hope you really enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below. How do you make sure that you are not flying what you can't afford to lose? Are you using the new insurance program? Are you having a just ISK backup, if you will? Or are you using maybe your corporation or something else to help supply you with ships as you lose them? Which hopefully is not too often. But anyways, thanks so much for joining this week. As always, reach down, hit that subscribe button. Give me a little like if you found this helpful. I appreciate it. And I just want to say also thanks to everybody leaving comments. It really made me smile and kind of makes this fun and validating. So really appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said earlier, if you're interested in joining Pandemic and checking out some of the stuff that we have to offer, be sure to hit that Discord link down below. We're always looking for new pilots, so would love to have you. And until next time, thanks so much and fly safe.